from this POPPP. How? How can you be free of attachment? So who will be starting today? We have got names. The names are Ashok Nichani, S. Krishna. Ashok Nichani, S. and Krishna. Who's good? Ashok Nichani, please start.
Shivam Sarji.
Shivoham, bolo.
Sarji, I can give one word answer. Let go.
Let go.
Let go.
Chodo. How to chodo?
Let
How
go.
to chodo? छोड़ दो आंचल समाना क्या कहेगा. How to let go? That is the problem.
Sarji,
You
you should
think
you should realize that nothing belongs to us.
अरे यार अशोक ये भाषण अच्छा है. How to get, what is the way to get rid of attachment? आप कभी अटैच हुए किसी चीज से, कोई शराब से, कोई लड़की से, कोई आदत से अटैचमेंट हुआ है कभी जिंदगी में?
संसार से सर्जी.
संसार से अटैचमेंट है?
मोह माया.
See, attachment is a very strong subject. You become mad. आदमी पागल हो जाता है, पागल. A person becomes so mad in attachment, they don't know what they are doing. So, S.
हेलो सर.
Hello.
सर पहले तो मैं आपको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करना चाहता हूँ, आपने सिल्वर बटन जीता है यूट्यूब में. तो सर
मुझे नहीं पता है. हाँ बताओ, बोलो, आगे बढ़ो. हाँ
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, क्वेश्चन करूँ. हाउ डज द सोल operates the human body?
How does the soul?
Operates the human body.
The soul does not operate the human body. It is just like saying, how does your electricity operate the television? Answer do. How does your electricity operate your television?
Sir, energy flow करता है तो.
Does your electricity operate the television?
हाँ.
No. Does the electricity operate the television? Your remote control operates the television. Button on, button off, channel up, channel down. Not the electricity.
सॉफ्टवेयर भी ऑपरेट करता है, लेकिन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की वजह से
मैंने आपको आंसर दिया है. अभी 2 मिनट सोचो and come back to the point. I want you to think what I gave you. You heard my answer? I want you to come back. The answer is not closed. Listen and come back.
सर मतलब
हाँ.
सर मतलब सोल मतलब रहता है वो आप खुद ब खुद.
Just like electricity gives power to the TV, does not operate the TV. Soul gives power to you, does not operate you. Listen carefully and come back. Krishna.
Yes, Shivoham.
Shivoham.
In this call, there is so much of realization that attachment is a bondage or a chain which will take us away from the truth. So you always stay confident with the thought, who am I? Otherwise, you will never get mukti or liberation or unification. So yesterday
you cannot get mukti with attachment.
Yeah.
Both are opposites.
So
if there is attachment, if there is asakti, correct? No, asakti is attachment.
Yes. Yes.
If there is asakti, there cannot be mukti.
Yes.
If there is mukti, there cannot be asakti.
Yeah, but yesterday you gave a beautiful point. Actually, yesterday was a day of my low. I don't know why, but though it was a beginner session, so really the entire day was in consciousness. And you said when you make God the priority in life, then there is no place for attachment. That
absolutely.
Is, yeah. So I think how to get rid of attachment. You always say, no, see God in all, love God in all, and serve God in all. And then I was thinking, then don't I love my son? But that also gave me an answer like surrender, surrender and do the best.
No. Don't skip the point. How do you love your son without attachment?
No, yes. But yesterday, sir, let me really confess, it was not to any people. Yesterday, I got a bit worried. It was such a stupid thing. I don't want, if you, just because the painters had painted something wrong in the room. And I was so annoyed. Then I was thinking, where is the mind taking me? But even though yesterday was a beginner's call, Really, sir, this 24 hours was so blissful and unnecessarily we waste energy.
Because you are attached to your room.
Yeah, exactly. But now
Because
yes, yes,
you are
yes.
ये
And
मेरा room है, ये
yes,
my room.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that is taking away from my truth. So today was a very blissful day, but I hope to, like, when you make God the priority, attachment goes away. My son, also, my attachment is very minimal.
See, it's not about son or daughter or husband or wife. Today, I want to teach you, none of you has touched the tip of the iceberg. You not even touched the tip of the iceberg. How can we get rid of attachment? You're not even touched the subject up to now.
That is God making God the priority, right? Making
No.
SIP the priority, right?
That's okay, but that's not the full answer of this subject. This
Because
subject
it
has
is
some other
touching
answer.
duality. So because yesterday you gave the answer. If we understand we are part of the SIP, we are soul, then we will not have
My
this
dear,
duality.
my dear, that was an answer for some other question. You're relating to this question. This question, people are suffering. People are suffering with a lot of attachment. And the question today is, how can we be
Get
rid of attachment? Samatma. Samatma.
Only when we stop clinging to material and people, by realizing that nothing is ours or nobody is ours, and if we start living in total prem yoga with detached attachment,
But
only
how?
then
But, you,
Hel-
you mumbled something.
I can't hear.
How? How do we get rid of? How do you get rid of attachment? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, by by not clinging to things. At present, we cling to things, thinking this is mine, this
How
person
to
is
stop?
mine.
How to stop that
By
clinging?
being in
You can-
prem yoga, by being totally in prem yoga and with detached attachment.
What is detached attachment?
Like an observer. I know nothing is mine, but I'm just an observer of what is happening. I am not involved in
No,
what is happening.
wait. Hold on. Is the solution detachment?
It is not.
The solution of attachment detachment?
It is not total detachment.
If you go
You
to
are
YouTube, continue. You can hear me, no, Samatma?
It's not clear, sir. I can't hear
Can you
clearly.
hear me? Okay. One second. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir. Can hear.
Okay. Okay. So I'm saying, is the solution of attachment, is it detachment?
It's not total detachment because we cannot totally detach.
Now you're coming to the point. It is not possible to just have detachment.
No.
If Krishna loves her son, she cannot say, okay, detachment. Tum mere bete nahi ho, tum jao. How can you have detachment?
No, we can't
So
be totally detached.
So what is the solution? How to get rid of attachment?
Detached attachment means I am involved only to a certain level. I am not totally involved in what is happening.
What is detached attachment? No, wait. What is detached attachment?
Detached attachment is I am not taking responsibility of what is happening, and neither do I totally go into 100% into what is happening.
My dear Samatma, you want the solution?
Yeah.
Then speak in simple words. What is, I'm asking you, Tell me the one person or the one thing or the one item or the project. Either you're attached to a person, a product, or a pleasure. Tell me what is your main attachment?
Really,
Or
my
before this
I
call,
was
even before
yeah
this call,
before
what was your main
my
attachment?
call. Yeah, before I came to this call, I was so attached to my children. So when they went, they left from home. I used to tell them, as soon as you get into the train, call me. You reach college, call me. Again, when you leave, call
So,
me. Now
so
I
now
don't do
tell
that.
me.
Once I go,
So what is the solution? How have you been able to get over that attachment to your children?
I don't know how I got over it, but now I have got over it because I don't call them. I know if there is some problem, they may call me. Once they leave from home, they come back home. I know that. I don't know
So you
how
don't have the
I
answer. Now you don't
no,
have the
I don't know
answer.
how I got over it.
So today's call needs the answer. Because I told you, when there is asakti, there cannot be mukti. When there is attachment, there cannot be liberation. When there is clinging, there will be suffering. Be clear about it, my dear friends. Be very clear about it. And so, Samatma, hang on for the answer. Atmatra and Girish. Atmatra,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. So we want
Yes,
the answer
sure,
today.
sir.
That's why, Samatma, I didn't mean to cut you short. I want the answer. That's why we are trying. Atmatra and Girish.
Sure, sir. Sir, when we can see cipinol, then attachment will be no anyone.
How, sir? How? Were you attached to anybody or anything? Suppose you are
No.
attached to Johnny Walker. Suppose you are
Okay.
attached to Jhum Barabar, Jhum Sharabi, Jhum. Every day night you need one peg. You're attached. Now you see sip in the Johnny Walker.
No.
How do you get rid of attachment? You can tell, I'm sorry for the bad example. You can tell your attachment, whatever you must have had some attachment in life with somebody or something, or some habit or some money or some house or something. Were you attached to somebody or something?
I think I have no any attachment. Yes.
You never had.
Yeah. Previously was, but not nowadays.
How did you overcome the attachment? How do you get rid of attachment?
I see cipinol and I'm get rid of the attachments. Yeah.
Okay, good. You're lucky. You know, Atmatrai, when I
Yeah.
was a businessman, Ashok Nichani told yesterday in the call,
Yeah.
if somebody touched something which is important to me, I'll kill them.
Oh.
I would kill them.
Yeah.
Ashok Nichani said we could hear.
I said
We could
yesterday.
hear
Yes.
you are 1 kilometer or half kilometer far away. I could hear your anger. Ashok
Oh.
Nichani said, "No, it's a truth. I was an angry man. I was so angry. You dare touch, you dare do something which I'm attached to. Oh,
Okay.
but how did I get rid of the attachment, Girish?
I think it's God's grace. That's why.
Nah,
I don't know.
God's grace is required for everything. It's like that Mr. S. Surajit said, will the soul operate the body? The soul of God's grace is there, na Atmatrai. Is God's
Yeah.
grace not on anybody? You know that much, Atmatrai. God's grace is only on you and me, or on everybody.
Everybody.
God's grace is on everybody if they seek
Yeah.
the grace.
Correct.
If they tell God to get out means, then there is no grace.
Correct.
But
Yes.
if anybody turns to God, God is waiting for you.
Right, sir.
God has no preference. God will not say, oh, Atmatra, you come and Girish don't come. No, God is there for everybody. Because everybody is sick. Girish.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. No, hello. Today's
Bolo.
question is very important. Today's question is very important because we are slaves. We are not
Okay.
able to go to our graves being free from karma, which is causing the trauma, because we are clinging and we are suffering. There is attachment. We don't know we don't know the way to detachment.
Right, sir.
Girish.
The answer
And
is
after Girish, Premchandji.
to have vairagya or dispassion towards sensual objects, whether mental or physical. It's a primary
Beautiful.
requirement.
Beautiful. Beautiful. But how?
We have to not
Girish,
mind state.
Vairagya. Vairagya.
Yes, vairagya.
To get Vairagya is
We
not easy.
need, yes, we need to be in consciousness and then realize that this attachment comes because of the
If you are
ignorance of mind and ego.
if you're madly in love with a girl, you are madly in love with a girl, how can you have Vairagya?
We have to use our intellect. The
What intellect?
short-term
I said-
pleasures are the sources of misery.
No, when you
We
are
can
madly in
discriminate
love,
by using the intellect.
when you are madly in love, madly, you become mad.
If you are in consciousness, you cannot be madly in love with any object. You can love only as
Not object. Not object. She is a woman.
woman is also an object when you are in consciousness.
Suppose somebody is madly in love with their child. Madly in love with their child. You know what attachment that is? That woman cannot sleep in the night. If the child does not call, that woman cannot sleep. How to break this attachment? Vairagya is the right answer, but how to get the Vairagya?
We have to look back wherever we have put our hands to find pleasure from out of material things or objects. We have ended up getting misery only. So now the invitation is coming from the object. Let me not think in that.
Girish, technically you are correct. Technically what you're saying is correct, but it is very complicated. See, you become attached. Nobody wants to be attached. You become attached. Then you become a slave. Because you are in the cage. What to do? You are not able to get out of that attachment.
Slowly, as we move on the spiritual path, this attachment will automatically fall away. We need not do anything.
Right, you are right. You are absolutely right. But how? Premchandji, think how? See, what Girish, the end of the day, we need to give the answer to the call. In Zoom call, we have to give the answer. Today's question is how to get rid of attachment. I'm asking everybody in this call knows attachment is good or attachment is bad. Girish, attachment is good or bad?
It is bad, but mind will always get attached. So we are not a body, mind and ego.
Any attachment, whether mother is attached to child, whether man is attached to woman, whether man is attached not only to woman, he's attached to Kamini. Kamini means gold. Or he's attached to lust. Or he's attached to money. Attachments are different. The question is, attachment cannot be good. Attachment is equal to misery. The moment you are attached, you become possessive. The moment you are attached, it is a recipe for disaster. Today's call is how to get rid of this disaster called attachment.
One more point. By being attached to a person or property or some other event, we can only derive temporary pleasure. But if we come to know that there is some eternal bliss, then we will pursue only that eternal bliss. How to get rid of this avidya?
Your language you're coming to know all these things is confusing. Remember the story I always tell? That story, I love that story. That man spent all his money to buy a Mercedes Benz. He buys a Mercedes Benz, he parks it outside his window. and he polishes it full night and he goes to sleep. When he wakes up in the morning, he sees his son is taking a stone and his son is writing on the car, the stone. He runs outside. He slaps the boy. He opens the car. He puts the child's fingers in the car and jams the finger. He's so attached to his Mercedes Benz. He jams. The fingers are smashed, blood in the fingers. He is so angry because his full life savings went in his Mercedes Benz. He runs to the hospital to save the child's fingers. The story doesn't go beyond that, but the point is he's so attached to his Mercedes Benz, he becomes mad. He's nearly killing his son. This is real. Because of attachment, we become mad. We are unable to use buddhi. We are unable to make the right decision. We are choosing the wrong decisions because we are attached to something which is not the right thing. Therefore, in this call, today's call, it's very important. If there's asakti, there cannot be mukti. If there's no mukti, there cannot be nirvan. If there's no nirvan, there is punarjanam. That means you will come back and you will be attached again until you are detached. What is the way to be detached, Premchandji?
Gurudev, when we are on the path of spiritual journey, our main aim should be one, and that is a purposeful life. And purpose
Correct.
is only one, just to attain the enlightenment, or that is, you say, recognize the soul, and for which you already suggested so many points, and that I am following most of the time. Whether it is a free happiness.
You are looking like only mukti. We are talking of the people who are in asakti. Were you ever attached to something or somebody? Were you attached in your life with somebody or something?
Somewhat 2-5% I am attached, but I am attached only with my wife, only for 5-10%, not more than it.
That is not the passion we are talking about. So the problem is when
otherwise I am not attached with anything. We are out of body bondages, shabda, sparsh, kam, krodh, lobh, moh,
then you are lucky. Lucky and you don't have the answer.
Life.
What he can, but what is the way to get rid? You don't have the answer because you are already in that state of you're blessed.
Be free. You accept.
No, but tell me, do you have any advice for somebody who is attached?
I could not get.
Do you have any advice for somebody who is attached, who is in attachment? Komal, please think. Komal, you are still unmuted. You can still speak, Premchandji. Komal. Unmute Komal. Premchandji, if you have any advice, you please give. Komalji.
Yes, Shivoham, everybody. Namaste.
Shivoham.
By attachment, what came to my mind was that attachment is, we are all taking it as love towards something, possessions towards something. But sometimes when we hate somebody, that is also an attachment. And that love and hate both are attachments.
No, don't confuse, because right now we are talking about intense love. Hate is not hate is a different emotion. Let's talk of
attachment to, like, if we are hating somebody, we are more attached. We are thinking more about that person. That is coming.
No, but that's not.
Mind.
We can't
because we are thinking ourselves to be something. If I'm thinking I'm somebody, I'm attached. If I'm thinking I'm nobody, and I'm playing my role, then I'm not attached.
You always have a unique perspective. But what is the way out of that attachment? Komal, according to you, what is the way out of that?
As you're not somebody. You are nobody, and nobody can be everybody. Play all the roles and then get detached. Don't
Very
get
good
caught
answer,
up in the role.
But people in the call cannot implement that so easily. So Krishna, you finished.
Caught up in the role. That's what came to the mind.
Yeah.
When we get caught up in the role, then we get attached.
Okay, so second round will come later. Krishna later. Samatma, please wait. Chidanand Rupa, and then Rajendra and Will. Will is number 3. Chidanand, Rajendra, Will. I am nothing.
Guruji.
4. Shivam, sir.
It is basically, we have to choose the path of Shreyas and Prayas. Shreyas always makes you do what you are supposed to do whenever it comes into your possession. But you're not worried about the results. So if you are worried about the results, or, so that automatically leads you to attachment. You should not be indifferent to whatever comes in your way, but do your part, do your duty, or do what is right, and forget about the results. Because it is the results and desires which make you attached to anything, whether it is relationship, possession, people, pleasure. It's that desire to possess, desire to control, or I want that result. So that makes you attached. Whereas
how to get rid of it?
that is karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Do your karmas, whatever comes your way, with the sense of shreyas, and don't fall
See, the
succumb to the
problem is
path
very
of
easy.
prayers.
Very easy for me to give one shloka and close the matter. No, I have got 100 people
That
who are
requires
seeking.
practice. From my
Good,
example, I
but
can tell you it requires practice.
practice is
As you
okay.
become mature in your sadhana, you realize there's no point in running after the results. Our concept of A, B, C. Accept, do your best, and leave the rest in consciousness.
Okay, good input. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chidanand. Good inputs. We have got Will and uh, Iron Chapel. Will.
You said that attachment creates misery. So I think there are two principles. First of all, you need I strongly suggest you need a guru. First of all, you won't do it by yourself. You will have to have a guru to help you, whatever happens.
Yes.
I think the second thing you need to do is you need to study the misery that you create through your attachment, and you need to pay good attention, and you need to understand that misery and pay good attention to it, because you need a feedback loop. You see, but your attachment's creating the misery, and if you study the misery, that will help you overcome the attachment. It goes together. You've got to see the relationship. As long as you've got attached to your misery. So if you see the misery, you see something you're doing is harming you, and whatever that thing is, you're working with the result. You can't just let go of the attachment just by deciding. You can't decide, but what you can do is look at the problem that you're creating, the misery.
Beautiful. I'm amazed at your answer. I'm amazed. Beautiful. No, very beautiful.
Well, really, it's not my answer. Really, this is directly what the Buddha called the Four Noble Truths. It's just straight out of that.
No, it's very good. So what you say is so beautiful. And point one, you need a spiritual master. You need a mentor who is connected with you.
Yeah.
Not a spiritual master who's somewhere in the skies and somewhere who you just follow. No, you need to be able to talk to somebody. Exactly. You need to be able to, what you said just now, Will, you need to be able to tell your guru how miserable you are because of this attachment. You should have that connection with your guru. You should have faith in your guru. You should have trust in your. I would talk to my guru on what was making me so attached and so miserable.
Exactly.
But if you don't talk to your guru, then it's as good as you don't have a guru. Point number one. Point number two, how beautifully he said, and this is what he said directly, the teaching of the Buddha. I'm happy Will is giving the source. He says, I've learned this from the Buddha, the Four Noble Truths. Very beautiful. I also follow the teachings of the Buddha in principle. I don't follow Buddhism, but Buddha's teachings are amazing. And what he says that find out you're suffering so much. Tell what in my language I say, tell yourself, stop it, stupid. Stop it, stupid. You are going to be stupid and stupid and stupid and stupid. How much more are you going to be stupid? My dear friends, our attachment makes us miserable. And we are willing to be miserable. We are willing to be miserable because of our ignorance. And the guru comes to put the light, switches on the light and says, hello, wake up. Wake up. The guru helps us. But still, while Will is given a very beautiful lead on how to break the attachment, how. This is the challenge. Iron, Raj is iron. Thank you, Will.
Am I
Shivoham,
allowed to add to that, or I talk later on? I have one or two things I just want to add.
Please continue. Please continue, Will.
I think, if I'm not wrong, Guruji, the first thing you should, one important thing, in general things, I think it's better not to study the books, because this can create big trouble. My feeling is that you should try to do this with the Guru directly, is my feeling. My feeling is that there are many books written on this, but it's a point that is not a little bit controversial. But I think the more important point I would like to make is that you must adhere to fundamental basic precepts. That is to say, whatever you do in solving your suffering, you must determine, I'm not going to kill, steal, lie, take drugs or drink, or illegitimate sex, these things. So
No,
that
all this is fine. All this,
so
but this is not this is going away from the attachment point. So what is it that you would like help us on the attachment point? You're moving on to the eightfold path. Fine, that's right living, everything is fine. But see, attachment is a problem, Will.
Yeah, well, I just think that those things will definitely make it worse. But the thing is that when you're, as you said yourself, when you're attached to something, someone scratches your car, you start breaking precepts. This is the problem. You put your fingers in the car. This is, you've got when you in the process of overcoming attachment. The background issue is you must stay close to the teacher and also determine not to harm anyone in the process. That's
Thank you. What is very correct, but there is a way to get rid of attachment. Hopefully in 5 minutes before we close, we will get and Raj. Thank you, Will. Let's see if we can get an answer in the next 5 minutes.
Shivoham, Guruji, Shivoham, everyone. What I have realized is attachment is a part of life. So what we have to transcend is we have to elevate our attachment towards the supreme. So you got to see no results. If I want to love my wife without any expectation, if I love the sip in my wife or girlfriend, I don't see that attachment is a problem. If I love my son without any expectation from me, right, then there is no problem. So as gradually we'll have to see that the attachment migrates towards the supreme God.
Beautiful. Will, I hope you're listening to this, Will. So when the attachment elevates, when the attachment moves from the skin to the divine that is within, when you are no more attached to the skin but to the divine within, then this attachment becomes detachment.
Exactly, Guruji.
Beautiful. I love it. I love what you said, Ian. You've said something very amazing. You're in consciousness today. So, my friends, Ian has given a beautiful point. The way it's like this. Ian, I'm giving you an analogy. You are struggling. You are crawling. Yesterday you gave me a story.
Yeah, I gave a story of tadpole becoming
Did you study that story?
Yeah, I heard of it. I studied the story.
No.
Yeah.
Did you know the story now, or should I tell you?
You can tell. I forgot. It's a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay. Let me all tell you the story which Raj inspired me yesterday. Now, this is not a tadpole. Bliko, I hope you can listen to me. These are insects. These are insects called nymphs. These are insects called nymphs, eight-legged creatures living in the bottom of a lake. These insects, they climb up the stem of the lotus. They climb up the stem of the lotus and then they go onto the lotus leaf. And then they disappear.
Yep.
So all the insects in the pond who are in the bottom of the pond are wondering, my hell, what the hell is happening? Everybody is climbing up the lotus pond and going to the lotus and disappearing. So they made a resolution. They promised that if any one of them goes up to the lotus pond, they will come back and tell all their friends what is the mystery.
Yep.
So one little insect called a nymph went up to the lotus pond, and that little nymph, that insect was sitting on the lotus leaf, experienced a metamorphosis. and that insect became a dragonfly. That insect became a dragonfly and flew away in the sky. Now, when that insect wanted to come back and tell its friends what happened, it came to the water, it saw all the nymphs in the bottom, it could not go inside anymore because it's a dragonfly.
Yeah.
It could not go inside. How to go back and tell my friends that I am no more an insect, I am no more crawling in the bottom of the lake, I have become a dragonfly. And I will take this as a subject. Raj inspired me to study this. I knew this story many years back, but I pulled it out from my books. My dear friends, you heard the story, Raj. I hope you understand that.
No, thank you, sir. I learned the story. I was trying to bring that, but you made it very clear now. Thanks for that.
Okay. So now let me tell you. Just like we are all like these insects in the bottom of the lake, we are attached. We are attached to the insects in the bottom of the lake. And we will continue to suffer in the bottom of the lake crawling as insects. But when we develop wings to fly like a dragonfly, then we are no more going to suffer in the bottom of the lake. Therefore, there needs to be realization. There needs to be realization that I have wings to fly. I should not try my wings with strings. Attachment means being free, mukti. And before this call ends, I hope I will tell you, the way to detachment is detached attachment. The way to detach, you cannot have detachment. If you want to follow the method in this call, you cannot have detachment. If you want to follow becoming a sannyasi, then you can have detachment. What Girish told. Girish, you want vairagya, then you have to become sannyasi, Girish. If you want the art in our call, Girish, you need the art of detached attachment, which means that you seem to be attached on the outside, but deep inside you're detached. And that detached attachment comes from realization. Realization which gives you wings, which are no more tied with strings. You are up flying in the sky. You don't, because attachments are beautiful. My dear friends, attachments are beautiful. But attachments should not make us suffer. Unfortunately, without realization, attachments make us suffer. But if we see SIP in all, if once we are realized and there is SIP, and like Raj told, Ayan told, if it's like you're crawling on the ground. You're crawling on the ground till such time your aeroplane takes off in the sky. When the aeroplane takes off in the sky, you are no more crawling on the ground because you are now in the sky. This analogy means you stop crawling on the ground. You love the one in the sky. When you evolve to that love for the supreme, the attachment for the supreme, when you are in prema yoga, when you reach that state of prema yoga, where you love the ruh, not the skin, the atma, you are in a different scene altogether. Now I will give you back. I'm sorry I had to break the answer because it was in that mode. So where are we? It went off. I don't know. Okay. So Samatma, Krishna. Samatma, Krishna. Can you hear me? Yes, tell me, Samatma.
Yeah. Really, I think I got over the attachment when I totally surrendered to SIP. Realizing
But why
that
did you
whatever is
surrender?
happening or going to...
You surrendered because of realization. You surrendered because of realization.
Because of realization. Yes.
You cannot surrender without realization, because if you are not having realization, one cannot surrender. Correct? How will you surrender? How to surrender?
Yes. I got the realization that whatever is happening is because of my karma, and I'm just a caretaker or something like that. They're not my children. Nothing is mine. So I'm just in total surrender, and that I got over the attachment.
Very good. See, Samatma, some of you in the call whom I know because from so many months, you're in the call for more than 1 year or 1.5 years. How long are you in this call?
2 years, 2 or 2.5 years.
So I can see through you all. I can see through you and I can see the evolution in you because I've been seeing you from 2 years. So the point is, many of you who talk to me on this call, I am able to understand your stage of spiritual awakening. I think that's the topic for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. What is your at what am I right? Is that the topic? Tomorrow we are talking about stage. Where are you on the stage of spiritual awakening? So lovely, Samatma. Thank you for that, Krishna, and then Monk. Tomorrow, of course, just to the administrators put up the point, not to miss my flight, I will be 15 minutes early tomorrow, 7:15 to 7:45 the call, 7:45 to 8:15 ask air. Please, if you don't mind, make note of the 15-minute early timing tomorrow because I have a flight again back to India tomorrow. Krishna. Krishna.
Yes, sir.
Please
So
unmute. Yes.
Mr. Will's point was so beautiful. This is what we never realized. We have not seen God. So when you say surrender to God, I think when we have told even our small and big problems to you, for example, attachment had been a subject earlier, and you asked me that time, if you get a message that your son met with an accident, what will you do? A little bit shock came in, but it was so introspective, sir. And then I understood that only karma will take its, I don't have to get worried. So that kind of unfolding has happened in this call, and you gave us a problem sheet. So there are so many things, and now, but then other attachments has come in my life, but the priority is definitely, enlightenment. So yes, it is a guru who is taking us in this to cut our strings and fly and spread our wings. So this is another day of gratitude also. So what Mr. Will was saying was very beautiful. Thank you, sir. Always.
Thank you, Krishna. Will has come back, but Monk, and then Rajendra and Will. Monk, bolo. Monk. Okay, Rajendra.
शिवम गुरुजी monk
Bolo.
संसारिक मोह माया से दूर होने
Cannot hear
का
you.
एक अच्छा सा
हाँ बोलिए, cannot hear you. जोर से बोलिए. Rajendra, I can't hear Monk. Can you hear what Monk is saying? Rajendra.
Shivam Guruji.
Shivam.
Shivam sir. Sir, I think, sir, in the company of an enlightened guru, when one reaches to the state of Jivan Mukta, he understands that this all prevailing Maya, the children whom he loves, the wife or the people who जिनके साथ attached है वो, ये सब माया है. इनको रहना नहीं है मेरे साथ. They have ultimately to go. I have to also go. When he realizes this, that death is, I mean, death को आना ही आना है. तो उस पे फिर attachment की बात ही नहीं है. Then he will, हाँ जिससे वो ज्यादा प्यार करता है, then he will surrender him to the ship, to him or to her, to the ship, and will always wish best for him. उसमें वो detached रहेगा. This is called detached attachment.
Correct. Very good. Very beautiful. So we have to see. Before I go back to Will, what is important is this: how to be able to get rid of attachment. Attachment is caused by ignorance. Ignorance means we believe ये मेरा, वो मेरा, हमारा कुछ भी मेरा नहीं है ना. Is it a difficult thing to understand? Will, what I'm saying is the attachment is caused by ignorance, thinking he is mine, she is mine, this is mine, that is mine. He is not mine, she is not mine, this is not mine, that is not mine. We have to understand that. As long as we don't understand that, we are going to be attached. And what Samatma said, Krishna said, the way of freedom is the way where we are realize that we are nothing. When I realize I am nothing, then only I can be detached. Otherwise, we will be attached. And the problem is this: we will suffer. Therefore, the Guru helps us. The Guru holds our hand. The Guru guides us. The Guru himself is in a human form. Na? The Guru has gone through the same thing. When I was speaking to my Guru had gone through the same thing. I could see my Guru being attached to some people. I could see my Guru being attached. But I also saw my Guru being detached attachment. I saw how my Guru was attached on the outside, but deep within he was detached. So that is, thank you, Rajendra. We will close with you, Will. And then maybe a small story I have to tell you. Will.
Thank you very much, Guruji. I think you talked about ignorance. So in Buddhism, they have what's called three characteristics. There are three things, you apply it to everything. So you've got to understand what you are attached to. If you understand it, then that's called overcoming ignorance, and you automatically overcome your attachment. The first thing you have to understand is what they call anicca, which means that things have a beginning and all things have a beginning and an end. You can't ask to have things forever, because that nothing is like that's not. You understand? You must study
Very
this.
good.
You must
Yeah,
study
anicca.
this as part of every moment of your life. The second thing you have to understand, in Pali they use this word dukkha, which the Pali scholars have difficulty translating. For me, the best translation for this is this word unmanageable. You cannot have things the way you want them. The body, you can't make it go younger because it's not for you to manage. It's not for what you use, unmanageable. It's slightly different from the word anicca, but it's a word you have to study. Unmanageable in that sense. Its nature is not in your control to have what you want. The third thing you have to understand is this word anatta. It's not yours. It does not belong to you. The body does not belong to me. The atmosphere does not, this world does not belong to me. So you get, if you see this, you get what is called detachment, because you're not yours when you see these three things. This is what's called overcoming ignorance. Now, to do this practice, there are two things you need to do. First of all, I think you need to be willing to suffer. You need to be willing to suffer, and one of the fundamental things in Buddhism is this word patience. You have to be patient with things. You have to be patient because life hurts. It hurts because of ignorance and attachment. So so you're willing to suffer, and then the last point I want to make is that to be able to see things correctly, it's very helpful to practice. In Pali, what they use this word metta, which is commonly translated as loving kindness. That is, you have a benevolent, happy, loving attitude. Develop that, and then it gives you the ability to look at your anger, look at your frustration, look at your depression, look at all these negative things. You have metta, you allow them into consciousness. This is it gives you a great power. So this is the way you overcome attachment, by being able to look, willing to look, and then you begin to understand things, and that leads to detachment.
Thank you. Well, beautiful. We have a very beautifully Buddhist perspective, and it's very beautiful. And I wish we can connect this and what we teach. It's all the same thing. When you look at Mount Everest from one direction, it looks different. And when you look at Mount Everest from another direction, it looks different. So this is looking at it from a different perspective. I wish I had more time to explain to Will. Dukkha is actually the suffering, and there is suffering. Buddha spoke about suffering, and attachment is the root cause. And I think all of Buddha's teaching is all about attachment. He talks about desire. Desire is the root cause of suffering. If you are able to be free from desire, then you're free from suffering. So, my dear friends, since time has already run out, I will take Will's points, and probably we will take up a session on Buddhism and our teachings. We will try to have a full session on this, because there's a lot connected. But today, just to conclude, I've already finished my part of what is the way to get rid of attachment. Yes, the realization, what Will just now said, anicca, the realization that nothing is permanent, impermanence. Now everything comes and goes. Nothing is mine. Everything, even this body I got, and this body I will give. I'm using a very important word before I close. Realization. Realization is the key. Knowing is not enough. Now, Will has told so many things. Are these things not written in a book? Oh, they're written in hundreds of books. But that's where the Guru comes. And the Guru doesn't only tell you. The Guru helps Sravana, Manana, Nidhi, Dhyasan. The Guru helps you to realize this meaning of this. And then when you realize it, then you are detached. then you have wings like the dragonfly, and you're able to get out of the misery of the samsara, of the pond. And the Buddha called this nirvana. He called it nirvana. Nirvana is nothing but liberation. It's the freedom from the cycle of death and rebirth, freedom from all suffering on earth. Our time has completely run out. I wish I could speak more, but with folded hands, I will see you tomorrow at 7:15. I bow down to you.